Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So I've been busy this week. I've been wrapping up this term for school. Luckily, I'm about to wrap it up. So I'll be able to put out some more videos. I've been wanting to put out like 2 videos a day this past week, but I just haven't had the time to do it. But good news too, you'll probably also see me on some other people's channels, on some streams, so keep the lookout for that. But I wanted to talk about practice today. I still might put out that video about, should we be worried about Kadarius Toney and Kyle Rudolph and Kenny Golladay and Saquon, and those are like crucial players for us that are still sitting in the cold tub pretty much. But that'll be another video, and I'll try to get that out tomorrow or this weekend, and I'll actually have time, so it's a good chance you might actually see that video. But I wanted to talk about today's first joint practice. I don't know if I addressed the Josh Jackson trade or anything, but I'll just keep it about today. The joint practice today with the Browns, it went pretty much how I thought it would. Now, I'll start it off by saying this. First off, Leonard Williams cut his hair. It looked like he cut his hair. I took a screenshot of it. I'll see if I can post it in this video to just show it. But it looked like he cut his hair, so that's kind of noteworthy. I mean, Leonard Williams is known for the long hair, and I thought he would get a Head and Shoulders deal, but I guess that's off the table now. But that's a hill of beans. Anyway, I was expecting this practice to include the Browns' best players. And when I say that, I mean months ago, I guess when we first heard about this, we were supposed to have Myles Garrett. We were supposed to have Jadeveon Clowney that we would be going against. Not that Clowney is so ferocious of a pass rusher, but he has his moments. So we were supposed to be competing against Clowney and Myles Garrett. So I felt great about that, and I said our tackles are going to get some really good reps against these guys. But guess what? We didn't. Both of those guys were out. Garrett because he's actually rehabbing from an injury, and Clowney because they're just holding him out for load management. So that kind of was a bummer. It really was, because I was expecting Andrew Thomas and Matt Parrott to really get some good reps against them. But we didn't get to see that, and we're not going to see that. I have no idea if they're going to play this Sunday, but I'm starting to think that if they're not going to practice today, they probably aren't going to play them in the preseason this Sunday. So they'll probably play next week. But we didn't get those guys. There was no Denzel Ward, and there was no Odell. So that's no real surprise. Those guys are working their way back. So that's not a big surprise. I don't remember if Denzel Ward participated a little bit, but a report I saw yesterday said that Ward wouldn't be there. And by the way, if you're looking for any footage of the practice, it was actually on the Browns YouTube channel. They live streamed like half of it, and the Giants' offensive possession that they got was one of the worst possessions that they had. It was one where the Browns secondary really turned it up. But the first possession that the Giants had, they said Daniel Jones pretty much drove down the field, hit Evan Ingram, hit Darius Slayton a couple of times, I think 3 straight times. So the offense looked really good, but the cameras just weren't on. So they just weren't recording those plays where Daniel Jones was zipping down the field with Darius Slayton, and then eventually he hit Evan Ingram on like a 20-yard pass. But the offense looked pretty good today. They said there was a little pressure on some of the throws. But what do you expect? I mean, this offensive line is still gelling, but it is kind of concerning that there was pressure when you got, Takk McKinley and another guy who I don't even know as their starting edge rusher. So that's kind of concerning, but I won't overreact. Also they have Malik Jackson in the middle. But that's just something to note. There was a little bit of pressure there. Also, Azeez Ojulari, I noticed, was getting some pressure on some of these plays. I saw them actually use Azeez. I don't think that this is something they can do, consistently. But at least in 3rd and longs, this is probably possible. I saw them use Azeez as a 3-tech defensive tackle kind of play. And he lined up at defensive tackle, and he got like an immediate swim move on the inside, which is funny because if you look at my film breakdown, still up there, pretty much been around the Giants community at this point. But if you look at that film breakdown, I kept talking about how Azeez needs to get an inside move. And you see him on the inside using the swim to the inside of the guard, beating that guy with speed. So hopefully that can translate to when he lines up on the edge next time. But I saw him getting some pressure. I saw Lorenzo Carter getting some pressure. Zimenez was out there. And by the way, I don't remember this announcement, maybe because I've been so busy, but Lorenzo Carter is back in practice. Zimenez is back in practice. We knew that, but now he's back in fully padded practice. So I expect to see both of them out there at least for a series this upcoming week. But it was good to see most of our edges back out there. We're still waiting on Ellerson Smith. We're still waiting on Ryan Anderson. But it was good to see more of our edges get out of there. Also, more developments. Aaron Robinson was actually doing some stuff. Kyle Rudolph was doing some stuff on the side. So it looks like they're trending towards getting back on the field. But again, time will tell. Kenny Golladay was still just throwing passes on the sideline with Daniel Jones. So not real progress there, but I think he'll still be ready by week 1. Also, DJ took some shots. He took some shots in this practice. I told you he took a shot to Evan Ingram earlier on in that practice, and it ended up going great for them. He took another shot, and it got broken up by Greedy Williams, former LSU cornerback. The older, not older, but the younger brother of Rodarius Williams, who's on our team. Greedy Williams is coming back off that ACL. He broke up the pass on Evan Ingram. So it shows that we're taking some shots down the field, which I love. I rarely see us take those shots to where even if they're getting broken up, if you look at all of Daniel Jones's interceptions, I can't imagine any of them are on deep passes because we hardly throw the ball deep. So it was good to see him take some shots. The Browns secondary looked pretty solid. I mean, they do have some pieces, especially if Denzel Ward is going to be out there. You got Ward, you got Newsome, you got Greedy Williams, you got, I'm not that familiar with their safeties, but they got a solid secondary out there. So that's something to keep an eye on in this game, you know, in the game we play on Sunday. We're actually playing against some real competition. Now, the pass rush might not be up there, but the secondary definitely is going to be up there. Another thing that I noticed today from everything that I've seen and heard, their tight ends pretty much dominated us. And it's not what you think, though. It's not what you think. And I really don't blame our secondary or our safeties for having this problem. I mean, Austin Hooper and Njoku, they are a nasty tight end duo. And they both are huge people, tall tight ends, big bodies. And our safeties actually stuck with them. They stuck with them in coverage. And what just happened is they just reached up over top of our safeties or just used their height to go up and grab passes out of the air. And that's just something that's going to happen on most, it's going to happen for most safeties. I mean, no safety is going to just play one-on-one with a guy like Njoku or Hooper and be in a situation where there's a jump ball situation and just be able to jump that high with someone like that. It's more about you got to place the ball perfectly. And that's what Baker was doing. He also had a deep throw to Donovan Peoples-Jones where he just went up in between like 4 Giants players and caught it almost Hail Mary style. So the secondary had their warts at times, but I'm not really worried about that at the end of the day. They some of the passes they gave up, they really had a chance to hit guys, but you're not doing full contact, so they didn't do that. So it doesn't really simulate the game environment. I'll be more, concerned if I see our secondary doing this, our starting secondary doing this in like a preseason game or even game 1. But the tight ends really climbed up over our top of our safeties and made some great plays. So that's something that I saw. And lastly, Jarvis Landry went absolute bonkers in practice. He dominated the practice. And that kind of leads me to believe that Darnay Holmes might have some issues with some more of the dominant slots in the league. He's been dealing with Sterling Shepard, and he's been having those issues. And Jarvis Landry is a similar player to Sterling Shepard, a shifty kind of slot wide receiver that can also play outside. And he's pretty much just been destroying Darnay Holmes. Sterling Shepard has been, and today Jarvis Landry did more of the same. So I'm not sure if this means that Darnay Holmes is all of a sudden going to be a bad player. I don't think that. But it does seem like he's not to that point of being that elite slot corner yet, at least. He didn't give up a touchdown last year, but it seems like he needs some help and man coverage in the slot because I saw a play where Jarvis caught the ball and Darnay Holmes was just completely going the other way. So he's got to kind of settle in. Hopefully this work against Sterling Shepard and this work against Jarvis Landry is going to make him a better player come week 1. But that's pretty much a good summary of what I saw and what I heard from reporters from what wasn't on tape from Giants practice. Guys that stood out, just as a review. Darius Slayton stood out. Evan Ingram had a nice catch. DJ went down the field pretty easily. Aziz had a couple of nice rushes from what I saw on camera. And that's pretty much who I think stood out. And for the Browns, it was their tight ends. Baker looked poised, and their secondary looked pretty good at times. So not much to take away. It's just practice. I mean, they're competing, but it's practice. I'm not sure if you take more away from this or the preseason game. Either way, all of it is just reps. But it looks like both teams got in some good work. So you guys let me know what you're thinking of the scrimmage so far with the Browns. Who do you want to see go against who tomorrow? Because we haven't seen those one-on-one reps. Oh, by the way, I did see Will Hernandez one-on-one with, I think, Malik Jackson or somebody one-on-one, and Hernandez is completely handled to do one-on-one. But let me know who you want to see one-on-one, what you want to see worked on tomorrow, and what you want to see this Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's a weird time for this Browns game on Sunday. So let me know. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.